Good evening, everybody. I would like to call this meeting of our regular council to order at 7:05 PM on August the 27th, 2024. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we're extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. So at this time, we will have to go into closed for a brief session pursuant to section 239 2H of the Municipal Act regarding information supplied in confidence by another level of government.
So you should go outside for a second. We'll come and get you. We promise.
Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Burns. Councillor Burns? Yes. Councillor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councillor Ricky-Schultz?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. We are in close. Welcome back, everybody. I have a resolution, item 4.1, that council authorizes the mayor and the CAO clerk treasurer to sign the grant agreement as passed by bylaw 2024-44. Moved by Councillor Burke, seconded by Councillor, moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Burke. Discussion. Seeing none, Councillor Burke? Yes. Councillor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Ricky-Schultz?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 5 is the mayor's address. So start off by saying I hope council and staff had an opportunity to take some vacation and enjoy some time off with family this summer. With the start of school in one more week, it appears that families will be scrambling to find transportation and or childcare for their children unless the funding issue with the bus operators is resolved. Negotiations are continuing with the school boards in the province for a satisfactory agreement. Press release went out today that it doesn't look like there's any movement from either party. Council Siren Committee has been busy working with the County of Renfrew Human Resources staff to find a permanent CAO replacement for our municipality. I want to extend a huge thank you to our staff and students for the successful revitalization of our swim program in collaboration with Poncher Valley and Laurentian Valley. The number of registrations and the wait list that developed emphasize the importance of this program. In addition to this program, our students were kept busy with our lending hub at Melissa Bishop Park. Thanks to Cameron Montgomery for supporting our students and the Golden Lake property owners in hosting the Golden Lake Regatta as part of the Water and Dirt Festival. On behalf of council, we wish Cameron a quick recovery for her unfortunate accident the day before the regatta. And thank you to Councillor Robinson for presenting the appreciation certificates to our summer students after the Golden Lake Regatta. On Monday, July 15th, 2024, I attended a virtual meeting with MTO regarding the Golden Lake intersection and exploring interim safety measures as planning continues for the intersection realignment. On August 18th, August 21st, Councillor Robinson and I attended the AMO conference in Ottawa, and my summary report is attached. And that is my mayor's address. So hopefully everybody has had a chance to read the conference summary. I did want to, a couple of things I did want to touch on. One of them was that we had a productive delegation with the Associate Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, which was Michael Tabolo, about getting the funding or permanent funding for the Mesa program moving forward. Of course, we're still waiting to see what comes out of that. And then on August 19th, Councillor Robinson and I had a delegation with MTO regarding the Mennonite community safety concerns along Highway 60 and 41. So they did indicate that they will be putting up signage on Highway 60 to identify the presence of horses and buggies. And we're also trying to get them to do some signage on Highway 41, especially between Lake Dory Road and Highway 60. The issue with rerouting of the Ontario Northland buses to Eganville and Douglas 2 days a week, which would provide certainly less travel for the Mennonites and improve the safety of them traveling, not having to travel on the highways, is something that will still require, and actually we're going to get more involvement from the county in order to try and move that forward. And the others are just other workshops that I attended. And as you can see here, the one when it comes to attracting doctors, and there was a great delegation from the northern town of Marathon. And there was a doctor that works in that community, and she indicated that they have not had an issue keeping their complement of doctors in that small community or attracting new doctors. But what they've done, rather than have financial incentives, is they have free housing for anybody moving up there. So a doctor doesn't have to look or worry about the cost of housing. They also have an administration center so that they don't have to worry about doing all their paperwork, that they have assistance with it. And the one other thing that I thought was very unique, this doctor says that there's volunteers that come in and cook her supper for her and her kids 3 days a week, which for her says gives me back time. And she said, that's what's most important, is that we get back time as opposed to getting money, because the money incentives usually have a sunset, so that they're maybe only good for 2 or 3 years and then the doctors move on. So that was pretty much it. And of course, the Mesa it's just a copy of the presentation that we did to the province. So do I have a mover and a seconder that council accepts the August 27, 2024 mayor's address as presented? Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Councillor Burt? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Being none, then we'll move to the adoption of the minutes of July the 2nd, 2024. And I have a motion that council accepts the July 2024 regular council minutes as presented. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Additions, corrections, or omissions? Being none. Councillor Burns? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Schoenfeld?
Yes.
And yes. Aaron, thank you. And now we're at reports, and our first report is in regards to the swim program, and I have a motion that council accepts the swim program 2024 report as presented, and that staff present an additional swim report to provide a financial update and document what is needed for future programs, including the draft policies. Can I get a move by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Bird? And then are we turning it over to our summer students?
Correct. Rose, if you'd like to elaborate, is there anything in your report you'd like to highlight?
I would say
I don't think so, no.
But you can go over the report.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Effie Rose and I was the swim instructor for the North Algona Wilberforce. I started June 24th and I went until August 23rd. And so in July, we mostly had level ones and then we had one level two class. And we at the beginning of July, we were really trying to get the level ones to complete all of their skills and their strokes. We were not seeing a lot of progress because a lot of them were non-swimmers. So then we started focusing more on building their confidence in the water rather than just focusing on skills. And we told that to the parents, like, we just want to let you know that your kid will not pass the level, but we'll keep working on just building their confidence. And then doing that, we like saw a lot more progress and we saw them get more comfortable in the water. And then we can come back next year or take lessons over the winter and they would be completely fine for level one. And then in August, we had a lot more variety of levels and ages. So we had level one, level two, level three, level four, level five, and level seven, also called rookie. So this month we saw a lot of progress because it was mostly older kids. So anytime that we would give them advice on how to correct their strokes or skills, they would take it really, really easily. And we would see a lot of progress super quickly with them. And so our staff this summer was me, Jenna Shizen, Chimera, and Tabitha Smith. So in July, it was me, Kai, and Tabitha. And then in August, Jenna replaced Kai, so it was me, Jenna, and Tabitha. And so our schedule, so in July, we were just doing lessons Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the rest of the days was we were at the Learning Hub and the Paddling Club. So it went in July, it went July 9th to the 25th, and we were 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m. And like I said, there was mostly level one, so 4 level ones, and then we had 1 level 2 class. And then in August, we are more full-time during the week, so we went Monday to Thursday. So we had the Mondays and Wednesdays group, so it was the same kids on those days, and then it was a different set of kids on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Mondays and Wednesdays, we went 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and 4 p.m. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we started a little bit later. So we started at 12, when we did 1, 2, 4, and then 5 to 7 were the bronze medallion and cross. And then on the first week of our lessons, we realized that there wasn't enough time for the bronze medallion and cross in our class. So we decided to add 3 to 5 on Wednesdays. So this, if you go back and look at Mondays and Wednesdays, there was classes at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. So we always had to decide between me, Jen, and Tabitha, who was gonna take the bronze kids, who was gonna take the 3 p.m. class, who was gonna take the 4 p.m. class. It always depended on what skills we had to complete that day. It really just depended on the day. So that was our schedule. And then now for the Lake Dory Swim Club site. So first off, the beach. So on July 4th, all the staff gathered at the beach and we did a big cleanup. So we cleaned up any seaweed, we cleaned up any shells, anything that was laying around the beach that could be a hazard to the kids or to the staff. So, and then throughout the summer, it wasn't very hard to maintain the beach. Like the staff would break up the seaweed if it would wash up on the shore or anything like that. And we only had a couple of dead fish wash up on the shore, but it was never like really a big problem. The staff took care of it right away. And then, so the docks and swim hut, so on the same day, July 4th, we cleaned out the swim hut and we took out any unnecessary things and we restocked, we went shopping, and we restocked any equipment that we needed for the month. We made sure that all the first aid kits and all the equipment were there, and all the paperwork and books, everything was there that we needed. And we organized it in like bins and stuff in the cupboard, so everything was super easy to find. And then for the docks, so on that same day, also July 4th, we realized that the ladders on the docks were not screwed in right. So then we put a request in Public Works, and then by the end of July, they got fixed. But we really didn't use the dock as much as we thought, because at the end of the dock, it was a little bit too shallow for the kids to jump in. So we ended up always bringing out a raft, because the bronze medallion kids in the older levels had to do dives for some of their skills. So we had to bring it out super far anyway. So we never really used the dock as much as we thought. Now for the porta potties, so that same day also, the porta potties got delivered and there was a Public Works employee there making sure that the ground was level and the porta potties were all level, so they wouldn't tip over anything. And throughout the this summer, the staff would always make sure before the shift to clean out the porta potties, to clean out all the sand or cobwebs or anything like that, just to keep them as clean as possible. And yeah, the porta potties were never a problem at all. Now for garbages, so at the beach, we have one garbage and that was completely fine. At the beginning of the summer, it wasn't getting emptied super regular, but then we put a request in Public Works and then it was getting emptied on a regular basis. And at the beginning also, we had a raccoon problem where every time that we would come in the morning, the garbage was all over the beach. So then we would clean it up and then we just, at the end of our shift, we just put the garbage in the hut. And then when we come back in the morning, we just took it out and that was not a problem. Parking, so parking was not an issue for the program this year. All the cars parked along the fence and the road, so on that patch of grass, and they all kind of parked on like a little bit of angle, and it was never a problem, like there was never any complaints in the public or anything like that. And yeah, it was completely fine. Seagulls, so the seagulls at the beginning of the summer, so when we went to do our beach cleanup, there was like a lot of seagulls. And then there was a raft kind of pushed away like on the side of the beach. So we decided to take that raft out and we named that Seagull Island and we put like little posters around it and everything. So we brought that out kind of beside the dock, but a little bit further out. And we, in hopes that the seagulls would use that raft instead of the dock, because we put pinwheels, pie plates, and like reflective owls like all on the dock. And it was working for like a really, really long time. So they weren't really going on the dock. They were just using that raft. But then by the end of the month, a lot of the pinwheels and pie plates were falling off, so then they were coming back to the dock. But next year, if we do the same, if we do pinwheels and pie plates, it was not a problem. They were just using the raft. Celebrate swim day. So we did 2 celebrate swim days. So we did one July 6th and August 3rd. So this was a day before before lessons started each month. So this was just a day for all the kids to come and parents and just ask any questions and just to kind of get to know everyone. So on the July 6th, on our first celebrate swim, everybody arrived and they went to the registration table to Cameron and Sarah from Bonnechere Valley, and they were taking fees for registration. And then they got sent down to the beach to me where I was running a thumbprint activity. And then they went to Tabitha, who was playing some games with them. And then after everyone got there, we just went over rules and boundaries and just anything like that and safety. And then we all introduced ourselves, and so did the kids. And then we broke off in little swim groups. So each like lesson had their own group, and we just like they all created a name and like a little bit like a gesture, kind of like a dance move to like identify their group that they really, really liked. And then we handed out ice cream and drinks, and then we pulled one group at a time to do tie-dye. And then the rest were just playing games with staff while they did tie-dye. And then August 3rd was very similar to July 6th. So everyone arrived, went to Cameron and Sarah for registrations, played games. So this one, we had a lot more older kids this month. So we did a lot of like icebreakers. We played Drip Drip Drop, which is kind of like Duck Duck Goose, but like with sponges. And then same thing, handed out ice cream, drinks, and then we did a free time this one. So everyone went swimming. And some kids built some sand castles, and then we did tie-dye, and then that was the end of Celebrate Swim Day number 2. So, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for a very excellent presentation and for a very excellent program this summer. Yes, it was well needed.
Yeah.
And my question is, so the older kids that are completing some of the upper levels, will they be at a position where they could teach the program or help teach the
Yeah, so
program next summer?
mostly like so we had, so the highest level that we did teach is Bronze Cross, and Bronze Cross is the level before you would take your lifeguard and your instructors. So he did pass, so next year, so he's still, I believe he was 13, and you need to be 15 to do your instructors and your lifeguard. So we would have to wait 2 years for him to be able to like, do it. And we did have some bronze medallion kids. They were, oh, yeah. Oh, it's on Zoom.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. And they were mostly like 12 years old, I'd say. So, and then they would have to complete their Bronze Cross and then be 15 to do their instructors and lifeguard, and then they could, be instructors. Yeah.
Yes, Councilor Renfrew.
So what was the best part and what would you change?
The best part I would say is the people. So we had a really, really great group of instructors. And the kids were all super nice, they all listened super well, and all the parents were really, really nice, because they were all mostly local, so they were very understanding. yeah, I would say the people, it's always just like a very good atmosphere at the beach all the time. And then something that I would change for next year is, I have a couple things. So the first thing would be probably to have like a swim coordinator. So Hillary, she was our beach marshal, but she was also, so in August, like I said, we were more full-time, like during August for the swim program. So she still had to manage the Learning Hub Pattern Club, the Visitor Information Center, and she also had to come to the beach while she, when she wasn't doing those two things. So next year, if we could have like, a swim coordinator that is always at the beach and is in charge of like any paperwork that the instructors need done or anything like that, or anything like Hillary, sometimes like the instructors would have to come on their lunch break to come do paperwork or fill out, like laminate some things. So just like someone that's there for that, and someone that's like familiar with like the life-saving society, like rules and like regulations and everything like that. And someone that's just kind of always there that we can like always kind of reach out to like very easily and just kind of be like, oh, hey, we have a little question, and it would be like super easy. And then also another thing is, to have 3 full-time instructors, but those instructors all have their lifeguarding, because me and another instructor, Jenna, we were talking this month, and we were talking about how, because we really like the idea of always have 2 instructors teaching, and that's what we did the whole month. They were always 2 instructors in the water. So we want to keep that the same, always 2 instructors in the water. But then the other instructor would be guarding, so they would be lifeguarding, because it's very good to like during lessons to have a lifeguard like on site. So like there would be a lesson and the 2 instructors would be teaching, and there would be a guarding, and then it would be like a rotation. So then that guard would come down and go teach, and then one instructor that was teaching would go up. So it just kind of gives like everyone a little bit of a break, and just like a little bit like just to balance everything out. And then you would kind of just be responsible for the kids that you teach, just to kind of get like a little bit less work, so you don't have like so many kids, and you can kind of have a little break throughout the day, and just so it's a little bit more balanced.
Did Jenna have her same education as?
Jenna, so she was an instructor, and she did not have her lifeguard, but she had her instructors, but not her lifeguard. But she was hoping for next year to
Get her lifeguard? And the other person, did they have their lifeguard?
No.
Nice.
Excellent.
Thank you.
The only other question I had, the young children, the ones that didn't maybe progress as
Yeah.
far as they could have.
Mhm.
Was there an indication that they were planning to come back next year?
Yes, I think the parents were like most of the parents that bring their kids wants their kids to like continue in swimming lessons.
Right.
So I think they would definitely come back, and we told the parents that like when we told them that they weren't gonna pass level 1, but like they were gonna like still build confidence. And I told them like you can put them in lessons like over the winter or come back next summer, and they were like completely open to that idea. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
yes.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a great job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Please,
4 years for
recruit
this.
for us next year.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Please do some recruiting for.
Oh,
us.
yes, yeah. Yeah.
So do we have to do the financial update as well as part of this report? or
No.
does that come later?
Cameron's meeting with VB in September, so what we're proposing is we're going to bring a financial report and a recommendations for next year report, so that we know how to get started early in the spring again and make sure we get people.
Will Effie's suggestions be part of the report? Super duper.
She had a couple other ones too, you can even put them down in writing, I think.
Yeah, but I could like send you like a recommendation for next year. I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure Cameron can get that.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'll call the vote.
We don't want to keep you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll call the vote. Councillor Byrd? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
yes,
Councillor Richter Schofel?
Yes.
I mean, yes, that's very clear. Item 9.2 is the Art Gallery of the Ottawa Valley, and I have a motion that council accepts the Art Gallery of the Ottawa Valley report as presented, and further that council authorizes staff to submit a letter of support to the Ontario Trillium Foundation Growth Grant application for the Art Gallery of the Ottawa Valley project with the Ottawa Valley Arts community. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Comments or questions? Councillor Schoenfeld.
At the displays, do they sell the art or just showcase the art? And then if, how would other artists get their work displayed if they wanted to? Do they have to belong to the Ottawa Valley?
It's pretty open.
Yeah.
So if you've seen, at Fifth Street Coffee for something like 2 years, they had a permanent display there. That one's pretty common in our community. In KHR, on the Township office, they have that big, it's like a mixed media thing made of tin. That's like flowers and it's like the library corner or something that was made by this organization as one of their exterior pieces.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burt. Yes. Councillor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Schoenfeld,
Yes,
and a yes, that's very good. Item 9.3 is the fire department surplus equipment. I have a motion that council accepts the report as presented and declares the 1992 International Rescue Vehicle. VIN number, I won't read it, but it's there listed, surplus, and direct staff to dispose of the item in accordance with township policies. Moved by Councillor Burt, seconded by Councillor Buckwald. Comments or questions? Councillor Schoenfeld.
was all the usable stuff taken off it or whatever?
Absolutely. It's basically a bulk.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burt. Yes. Councillor Buckwald.
Yes.
Councillor Robinson.
yes,
Councillor Schoenfeld.
Yes,
Yes. It's carried, thank you. Item 9.4 is the NAW 2024-09 backup generator. And I have a motion that council accepts this report, request for proposal NAW 2024-09 emergency backup liquid propane generator installation at the Snowdrifters facility. And that council accepts the proposal from Welk Electric Limited with a score of 90 out of a possible 90 points for $53,977 plus HST from the 2024 capital budget. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Burt. Comments or questions? Councillor Schoenfeld.
when we got the grant for the generator, was that part of it or not? The installation was part of it? Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burt. Yes. Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Schoenfeld.
Yes,
I mean, yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 9.5 is the RFP for the 2024 septic system. And I have a motion that council accepts this report, request for proposal, NA-2024-10, high capacity anaerobic water septic treatment system for the Snowdrifters facility. And that council accepts the proposal from Fulchers ESC Exploration and Construction Services Limited with a score of 70 out of a possible 100 points at a cost of $41,450 plus HST, also from the 2024 capital budget. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Schoenfeld. Comments or questions? Councillor Schoenfeld.
did they say when they might be putting it in?
Well, that would be the criteria why they didn't score higher, because it is going to go through the ministry, because it's a 10,000 liter system. So the ministry is the ones that are instead of the CBO from the township. So it's all dependent on the application to the ministry for compliance.
Okay, so they could put it in when they get,
Once that is completed, yes, they can put it in.
okay, thank you.
Does our ministry move quicker than some of them, or
I'm not sure. Hopefully it gets done.
before winter?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Council Burns? Yes. Council Buckwell?
Yes.
Council Robinson?
yes,
Council Recusant?
Yes,
Well, yes. Mary, thank you. Item 9.6 is a community resource center in Killaloe, and a motion of council accepts the community resource center Killaloe community grant application report is presented and agrees to a reduction of $200 off the total rent rate for CRC's rental of the Snowdrifters facility. Go over in a second here. Moved by Councilor Recusant, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments or questions? Councilor Recusant?
do you know how long the program would run for, and, or does it just like 5 weeks, and then it could get renewed after that? I don't know.
Be dependent on their funding.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
This is a fairly popular program, though, it usually fills up, so. It's great that it can continue. So I'll call the vote, Councilor Burke? Yes. Councilor Bucknell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
yes,
Councilor Recusant?
Yes,
Yes, it's carried, thank you. Item 9.7 is a summer recreation student report, and I have a motion that council accepts the summer recreation student 2024 report as presented. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments or questions? Councilor Recusant?
do you know how many might have gone to the Golden Lake Games Day, Cameron? Like, how many people might have participated or something?
I think it was like 6.
6 people? Okay. And did she wonder, like, if there was a way to increase those, that amount, like, did she? Right,
For the first time doing it, it's usually like that, and then there were a lot of people who would message after saying, oh,
No, we didn't.
that kind of thing, so if we were to do something more regular, I think people would go.
Okay. And with the Visitor Information Center and partnering with the OVTA, right? How did that go? Do you know?
So she went to a training with the county, the OPTA offered this training about metrics and how to get more people into the visitor information center, all that kind of stuff. So she did do, like, they have an online portal and she did fill in all the information, so. Yeah.
And do you know how many went to the regatta about?
There were 25 registered racers, and I think only like 18 came, but that's just because of the weather, like.
Whether it was a function.
Yeah, and actually the weather was fine, but it said that there was gonna be storms and things like that, so there were a few people who didn't come, but there was a ton of volunteers, so.
So when I read the summary, there was just one question, because I don't, it says, hub needs signage and other megaphone anchors. Music jam is recommended, but what's safety kits and a cross rope? What is a cross rope to protect the public?
So, something that she noted, this year was that kids would run in, and she's afraid that there's equipment that's quite high up, and if they bump something, they could fall on them, so just putting like a rope across the front, so.
Oh, like a
it's-
kind of like a barrier.
Yeah, because if there's only one person at the hub and she's like bringing something down to
yeah.
the beach, just to prevent people from kind of thinking they
Yeah.
can't. Kind of go in.
I've seen them at the bank where they're kind of like on a rotor thing, right? You have 2 posts and then the peak and then.
Yeah, and in there you could actually just mount both sides right onto the trail itself.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a lock or a door or anything.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah,
visual
yeah,
cue,
yeah.
but-
Okay, no, that makes sense. I just couldn't, I didn't know what that meant. Thanks.
And from talking to the students, they said our lending hub was quite busy. Probably the busiest it's been since maybe before COVID. And that was good to hear that they had a lot of usage.
Do you know if we got the equipment from Ownership Valley?
Yeah, we did yours.
Did we? Did we get to keep it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Super duper.
So much collaboration with Township Valley this year. So great.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns. Yes. Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Recusant,
Yes,
I mean, that's very, thank you. Item 9.8 is the New Horizons Seniors Grant. I have a motion that council accepts the New Horizons for Seniors Renewal Project as presented. And further that council resubmits the application to the 2025-2026 round of New Horizons for Seniors funding to continue the 2023-2024 seniors program in 2025-2026. And if the grant is successful, that council approves 30 2-hour rentals of the Golden Lake Community Hall at a cost of $2,400 and $900 in staff wages as the in-kind proponent of the grant. Do I have a mover and a second? Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Birch. Comments, questions, Councilor Schultz?
On average, how many people do you think would attend the various activities, or is it dependent upon the activity?
I'd say minimum 20 for any activity. Some things are more popular than others, like the jam is really popular. There's like upwards of 60, I think, with the most everyone, but.
And where would most of those people come from? The Golden Lake and surrounding, or some people from Ingenville or Kellaloo or?
People from all over, but I've noticed, like yesterday at the jam, there were a bunch of new people and they were just people from the village who. One guy I asked, why are you here? Did you see the advertising sort of thing? And he said, I am looking for free activities in walking distance. And he just sang along to the music, didn't bring an instrument, so I think that now the word is getting out that people are just kind of coming because of whatever is going on.
Because it's an activity.
Yeah.
And what about the canning and the jarring?
So that hasn't happened yet. That's
Okay.
gonna be in the fall.
The community garden is doing really good behind the fire hall.
Yeah. It's
Lots of participation in.
Oh, yeah. All ages, like there's always people there. And people are really curious about it, which is
And no vandalism or monkey stuff going
not
on?
yet. No.
Super duper.
Yeah.
That's great, and it really spruces up the place too.
Thanks, Cameron, for doing that. Like it took somebody to get it rocking and rolling. I know.
Food bank, honestly.
But once it starts going, you need somebody to organize those things, right? And so kind of be the point person or the go-to person. And it's nice to have like something going on in the village of Golden Lake, for sure.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes,
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Rappi-Schoenfeld,
Yes,
and a yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 9.9 is in regards to council meeting cancellation. I have a motion that the September 3rd, 2024 regular meeting of council be canceled and that staff post the change of dates on social medias and the office entrance bulletin board. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Birch. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Birch,
yes,
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Rappi-Schoenfeld,
yes.
and a yes, that is carried as well. Thank you. Item 9.10 is the Taste of the Valley. And I have a motion that council accepts the Taste of the Valley 2025-2026 report as information. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Rappi-Schoenfeld. Comments or questions? Councilor Rappi-Schoenfeld.
So if we spend $11,000 on hosting a Taste of the Valley, any idea what we would get back from that, or just showcasing, or?
I mean, there are studies about investment in economic development initiatives and things like that. I mean, I could I don't know if it's, I would have to like run those numbers and see, like, if that is a worthwhile investment, but,
So I did talk to the county about this, and also I talked to the CAO from BV, because they did one 2 years ago, and I said, what was your final cost? And I was told that the final cost was basically just the advertising they did and their staff wages. The other expenses were covered for the most part by the county. And the county said, if you're considering it, put in the application and they will come out and they'll do a site visit. They'll tell us if we need anything, what it is, and give us an estimate. And then at that point, we can make a decision. Do we want to continue? Do we want to just say thank you, but no thanks? And, that way, we're not committed, but we'll have a better idea of what it might cost to host it.
Would they be giving us any monies or just, no?
No, but they look after all of the booking of the vendor. Booking of the vendors, collecting the money from the vendors, a lot of the organization. We just have to provide staff time to help them. Councilor Buckle.
I think just looking at the requirements logistically, where would we be thinking of hosting something like that based on the size?
My thought was snowdrifters. And again, I don't know if we have everything we need there,
Mhm.
but that's where they said at the county that we would have staff go out and take a look and. Because this year, actually in 2 weeks, there's the one at Killaloo, and they're putting it on at the administration building in Killaloo, and I was curious whether they had enough room.
I think, I guess they probably have to use the back parking lot, I think, for their flat surface.
Apparently they did, so. I thought, well, if they can do it there, we certainly have a lot more room at Snowdrifters, and anyway, it's,
And a lot more room for parking.
yes.
Well, I don't think it would hurt to move forward and look into it again, because if it doesn't, looks like it's not gonna work out, if the cost is gonna be too high,
Yeah,
we have that option.
that's
But
right.
yeah, let's investigate it.
And there's no charge for what the county's gonna do?
No. Yeah, and this wouldn't be till 2025, the event. So I'll call the vote, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckle,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yeah,
Councilor Rector Schoenfeld,
Yes,
and a yes. It's very good.
Rose,
Yes,
is there direction to staff then? Is this just,
this just is to accept the report of information,
yeah,
so then we would need another resolution, right?
or direction to? Yes.
Well, the direction, I guess, would be to submit an application, because I think the deadline is it September the 17th? There is a deadline to submit an application for next year.
So it's just a matter of a written formal expression of interest to the county. By Friday the 27th.
Okay.
Will staff have time to get that ready before Friday?
Yeah, I do think if we do it, we do need to consider budgeting some funds towards it though. Because just to have the vendor booths being electrified, then we need, if each extension cord is $100, and that's 20 extension cords. And the cost of electricity, there's just things that are a cost that we do need to think about, but it's doable. But we do need a budget for it.
And at this point, it would only be to do an expression of interest, and then we can get more of those details to come back in a report.
Yeah, any of those, Councilor Robinson has a question.
Councilor Robinson?
I was just wondering if we need to have another location cited, just in case.
Your thought would be? Which
No,
location?
if I was just asking if we would need to have a second site before, when we're doing the presentation for the application, if they choose not to use snowdrifters.
I think we can submit it with snowdrifters and see if it sounds based on what Mayor Rose is saying, like it's a bit of a conversation. So if they come back and I'm not sure how competitive it is, so we can submit snowdrifters, and then if they have a problem with that facility, we can look for something else.
Okay.
One of the other suggestions that I had is obviously this is always people heavy to have, to host. I wondered if the recreation committee, I know the recreation committee had been considering some type of event that was a farmer's market or something like that, and like maybe this would be a taste of it. So I don't know if you want to add that to your agenda, for recreation, and just see that.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burt,
Yes.
Councillor Buckle,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Ricky Schoenfeld,
Yes,
I'm a yes, so that's carried. Item 9.11 is the HR manual, and I have a motion of council accepts the edits proposed to the human resource policy manual, and that the policy be shared with staff for acknowledgement and use. Moved by Councillor Buckle, seconded by Councillor Burt. Comments or questions? Councillor Ricky Schoenfeld.
I do have a number of questions. First of all, like, it says the department heads were consulted. Were the people that weren't the department heads, like the other workers, were they consulted or taken the edits to them at all?
Not this time, because we did that so many times the last time, but most of these edits are either feedback that we got from staff. So things that they felt weren't clear when we did it in January, or things that we functionally had just realized, you know, when we got working with it, that they needed a bit of clarification. So we will give everyone a copy of it going forward.
So like moving forward, will you have like days when the different departments get together to go through the HR policy? Or is it just the expectation, here's the new HR policy, read it if you want to?
Well, I think that the report has been written to highlight the changes. So you can see, as we said in January, we were going to add, so there are specific policies that have been added, and I think we should continue to add until we have, you know, as many as we probably can. I mean, there's always continued extra policies. So I would probably give it to them in a similar format that it is here.
So could I give a couple comments?
Sure.
So on the recruitment page, which is page 80 of the HR document, I don't know what page it is there. It talks about nepotism. It says the township will also refrain from hiring staff simply because they're related to current staff or members of council and will not engage in nepotism and its recruitment efforts. And then the next page, it talks about what nepotism is, favoring relatives, friends, associates, especially by giving them job titles. So I'm just wondering if, where it says family, if we should also include relative, friends or associates. Like, I'm wondering if, because it looks like when I read that on page 80, it just looks like family. Right? But then when we go the next page, it talks about the definition. I'm just saying in brackets, should we say friends, relatives, or associates?
Yeah, we could, that nepotism is straight out of a dictionary,
Yeah.
so we can add,
I'm just saying, just on the page 80, if we could say something, or just say nepotism, like we could change that and not even have, you know, family in there, or do we include family in brackets along with relatives, friends, or associates, right? Because like, it could be like, somebody knows somebody, well, they got the job, not because they're relative, but because, you know, they were good family friends. I'm just trying to make everything look transparent, that's all.
yeah,
I'm just wondering if we even need the term nepotism in there and just simply leave it that we'll be hiring based on merit.
And you know, in a small community, merit could be the best person for the job is a family member. The best person for the job is an associate of somebody, because we don't have a lot of pickings, right? Just mine, maybe it's a wording thing.
I think it says we will not hire based on that. Sorry, I can't find that page.
Just look on page 80. Oh,
There's only 61 pages.
Control F.
I think it's gonna work.
oh yeah, control F, I love control. Ah, see, good old control F.
22 of 61.
They got it.
I think that the term is simply because they're related. So we can take it out. There was a lot of conversation months ago about putting it in, so we put it in, and then I just thought that defining it.
I'm okay with saying it, but then I'd like to also include associates and friends of. Do you know what I mean? Or have that somewhere there, because to me, it looks like we're saying just relatives, when in actual fact it could be all, or like Councilor Buckwald said. Like merit is an important thing, we go through a point system and everything else, it very well could be a relative of Melvin's that's the best. That was just something that I just thought when I read it. Then a number, page 32, that'll be after that. It's called classification review system. It just says, and this is a new word that was added. Substantially, like who will decide substantially? Request for job plans classification review may be initiated by an employee or manager when the responsibility of the position has changed substantially. So I'm assuming the CAO, clerk treasurer, will decide what substantially is, yes?
I would say, yeah, someone in management would decide that. I think that that's trying to avoid someone asking for a new job description every week or every time they're given a task,
Okay,
an additional task.
okay, on page 34 of the document, it just talks about part-time wages. This is just clarification, there's nothing there. Get no okay, my note is, they don't get any benefits, right? Part-time people don't get benefits, right?
No, not like a healthcare benefits, no.
Or dental, do they get any benefits? No, just clothing. Okay, now that gets me to page 39. Uniform and safety clothing allowance. Okay, so I know that for full-time people, there's like a date, right? That they'll go and get their new stuff, right? Adrian?
Yes, correct.
What about the summer part-time person? They're not here like in the winter time when the full-time get it. Like, do we have to differentiate like when the summer part-time? If he gets something,
That would be seasonal.
But-
Part-time is through the year.
well, yeah, but when would they get their stuff?
The part-time?
Yeah.
They get it the next January. It was January this past year. That was full-time. This January, the other one. Part-time.
See, I guess I was just thinking in the summertime, he'd get it like when he would start. That's what I was thinking. And here's the other issue I have too.
Can I just address that? Yeah, so we did have a conversation about that, and what was decided was when we hire someone, we expect them to come to work with their equipment. They are expected to come with boots and equipment, and then we provide our staff throughout the term of their employment. So that's why it wasn't started at the beginning.
So the summertime guy could get stuff in
In the next
August?
summertime,
August?
I would
Necessarily
say
January?
it's probably annually, I would think.
We got away from that because if you have a new hire, you have to put time in. Like when I was in the city of Pembroke, you had to work a year before you acquired that. That benefit.
Mhm.
You're not gonna give it to them if they work 2 weeks and they pay you in 2 weeks after that, and then you lost $650. So you have to put some time in to
Yeah.
benefit from the benefits.
I guess I just see as the part-time person, you might not get the part-time person back another year, therefore. He
So
will,
you're speaking of a seasonal.
Yeah,
Part-time
season.
is for part-time.
oh yeah, okay, seasonal.
Seasonal isn't in this.
So a part-time person would be like the fellow who cuts the grass, right? Like with the John Deere
It
truck.
could be the waste.
It could be the waste attendants, right?
So they're long
It wouldn't
term.
be the waste attendant, it would be the cleaner.
So you're
As a pass is also seasonal.
Yeah.
He's only be a seasonal worker, he's not a part-time worker. Part-time description is you work part-time through the year.
Okay, so the fellow that cuts the grass, the shouldering of the grass, he's not part-time, he's seasonal. Is that defined here somewhere that I never read?
It is a seasonal job.
Okay, I guess I was getting confused because I was in my head thinking part-time as opposed to seasonal. Gotcha.
Yeah, because he is full-time season. He gets full-time- he gets
Yeah,
full- he
yeah,
gets Full-time hours,
Yeah,
it's seasonal job.
yeah, okay. You see where I was coming from, though? I was thinking he's part-time.
We need to add that definition in there.
I believe it's there, I'm just looking.
I never saw it. Doesn't mean, because that's a very long document. Okay, okay. Then. On page 40.
Oh, it is there, yeah.
Okay, so where is it? Okay,
Temporary.
temporary. Okay. Perfect. That was me thinking he was, yeah, he's a full-time seasonal.
Yeah.
Which makes sense now. My head, makes sense. Okay, page 40. It's about hours of work of overtime. So the way they worked now was if they got called in before their operating hour time, then they would get time and a half. And if they got called in an hour before 7, then they get 3-hour call-in. Is this right in my head? Something like that?
That's what they expected. But it's not a call, it's a scheduled in. So they were claiming they were called in. Call in means something that is abrupt. I need somebody immediately then. No,
Right.
before they left work the day before, at 4 o'clock, I said everybody's coming in at 7. That's scheduled shift at 7. I can schedule any shift start time. It's not a call in.
So you could schedule the shift to be in at 5.
That's right.
Okay,
So
so,
so that's where they were arguing about that point, because I said, no, a call-in is an emergency call-in. Tree down, you have to come in. No, I scheduled you at 4 o'clock before you left for the day. You had 10 hours to prepare for that.
so that takes care of number 4. That's right, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's why it's changed, because we're trying to clarify it.
okay, so does that mean though, last year then, did they get any remuneration for coming in early because this is the new HR policy versus last time's your policy?
Well, I can't answer that. They probably did.
Okay, all right. Okay, so number 10, overtime. Unscheduled call-ins are paid, so an unscheduled call-in, just like you said, the tree falls down, right? And I need you right now,
It's a 3-hour.
okay, no matter what. And number 13, I think it's just my clarification. All unplanned overtime must be discussed and agreed upon by the employee's supervisor. Tell me what that would look like.
So the word unplanned is in there because admin staff often get overtime for council meetings, so that is constant and it's not. Laura's not gonna send me a message every week saying I need to go to a council meeting this week. So that word unplanned is specifically so that it accounts for administrative staff.
Okay,
And the rest of the sentence means that people should not be planning to put overtime hours on their time card unless it's been approved by the manager.
okay. So when Laura stays later because of the council meeting, then does she come in later and what happens with her paycheck?
Sometimes she takes it in lieu and sometimes she takes it as overtime.
Okay, all right. Now, illness and personal leave. That's like page 46. Okay, so let's just say a person is on call, right? I think I know the answer here, but I want to make sure. A person is on call, they get the $100, but they're sick that day.
So
What happens there?
if they're sick, they're not available to come in, then they don't get their on call. Because they're not available to.
Okay. And like, there's nothing like, so you could get paid a sick day, right? But you would be docked, you're $15 on call, yes, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, oh yeah, okay, here we go. Page 50. Compensation for standby. So I get the first part, public works snowplow operators, winter season starts November, goes through till April, can be amended, so basically, if it had to go longer, then they could go longer than April the 30th, if there was some kind of crazy thing happening. I understand that, right? Is there anything in here about the summer months though, and compensation for standby? It talks about winter. I don't know if there's something specific about the summer, and if there is, should it be included?
And what would be,
Well, because we talked about, can we not say something like to public works, you know, from their summer shift goes from blank to blank, you know, they will be getting. Because they are on call in, right? Or standby, right?
We're on standby.
So that should, like, to me, because this is an HR policy, don't you think we should include the summer somewhere in here? Because to me, they're on call a lot, or they're on standby a lot. I don't know. It's not up to you, whatever you want.
Just, do we put staff on standby in the summer?
One person per week. Okay. It's on a rotation basis.
I'm just saying, maybe we should include that somewhere.
include that that they, I'm not sure.
Just like Adrian said, in the summertime, one staff per week is on.
But is it not covered there? Compensation for standby is 100 for every 7-day allotment.
I know, but when I read that, I'm starting to think like it's more dealing with the snowplow operators. Like we talk about the snowplow operators getting standby fee, yes, but are we talking about, do we have to say in the summertime? Like I didn't personally know that they were on standby in the summertime.
So just if I may, so basically, Janet, your question is more about the policy statement.
Yes,
So if we just took out or changed the call to snowplow drivers for the winter season,
well, and add something for the summer season.
just to ensure that the town has the ability to call in staff
Mhm.
and just take the comment about snowplow
So it
drivers.
says here, it says the Public Works Department staff will work 4 10-hour days from the Tuesday following Victoria Day until to the last day of Friday of September. The Public Works Department staff engage in an on-call rotation during this period.
Okay.
And so this expected fair and reasonable sharing of the rotation is obviously, you know, if someone has a wedding or something going on, they try to accommodate each other.
Mhm. Where was that? Go to the top, what was that at? Okay, all right, so it's covered there. I was just thinking it could be covered on a compensation for standby. Can you put it in both places? Or no?
Yeah, we can just add.
Well, actually, under this policy, we don't pay standby in the summer
But we do.
by the reading of this. I think that whole section needs to be amended.
I think that the standby clause, you're reading it because the clause above it says it talks about winter time, you're saying it applies, but standby is standby.
Standby, I have $100 per week,
I
right?
think that you're reading because that December, like this. Public Works snowplow operators, November 30th, that's the end of a sentence, and then the next sentence is compensation for standby, so you're thinking those are together, but.
Well, yes, because the header is specification, so those will be the conditions that have to be met. And the last one, number 12, again, refers to this policy and associated procedure to be reviewed by Public Works staff and at the start of the snowplow season. So an argument could be easily made that there's nothing in our policy that says we're paying standby during the summer. And I think that should be clarified.
Okay.
And the wording is,
We just put 7-day allotment year round at the end of that?
somehow I think it just should be recognized. Maybe it's just something to think about and you could.
And just for your, I didn't fix it, but I'm going to add $5 to that 100 so that it's a multiplier of 7.
Oh, yeah, okay, makes it easier. Okay. Thank you, and then. This is an easy one. Page 54. So 54 deals with service and awards, and then 5 years you get the audit. Do we recognize these somehow, or do they just get it on the paycheck? Do we have an award ceremony like I've seen some people having? Yes.
We don't have a ceremony. I did write a procedure that indicates that the deputy treasurer is to inform the deputy clerk when these are coming, and we had planned to put them in the council package so that we could celebrate them at the council meetings, but we haven't done that yet, but we will.
Okay. Because I find this document, like, there's a lot of stuff in it, like more stuff than just like human resources. There's like, to me, nearly like, if we had a union, some of this stuff would go into collective bargaining or agreements and stuff like that. So that's why I just think it's really important that it's not only necessarily the managers that know what's going on, but the rest of the workers, employees know what's going on too. And that's where sometimes, and I know there's gonna be pushback and we know. But I mean, it's sometimes nice when people have a voice and they know what's going on. I get what you're saying, they had a voice. Anyway, okay, that's just my.
Well, and the resolution does include to share with staff, so they will. Thanks for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mayor Rose, Councilor Robinson, you have a question?
Okay, Councilor Robinson.
This was a while ago, but when you talked about the nepotism,
Oh, yeah, okay.
taking it out. I think it should stay in because I know that during the campaign, there were a number of people expressed concerns about not having it specifically identified. So it may not be part of the main body, but it should be part of the comments.
I'm okay with it either way, but if we have nepotism as nepotism, then we should also say it's not just about relatives, right, or family.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, it goes with associates as well.
That's right, you know, or it could be like a really good friend. I mean, you don't want people to necessarily, but I mean, just as Melvin said, sometimes it limits ourselves, but I'm okay with whatever. It's just if we go with nepotism, I'd like it to include more than just family or relatives.
Yeah, understood. And I do think that, you know, it should be noted that it is on merit because as Councillor Buckwall indicated, in a small community, it might be just the person next door that's as qualified to do the job.
Mhm.
So that was just my 2 cents.
Okay, any other comments? Sorry. Holly?
No, I was just thank you for reading it, thank you for providing the feedback, I think it's great. So we'll do our best to change Laura's made comments of all of your comments, so we'll update those and if you think that it's, you know, based on your feedback, if we make those comments, it can still pass, or we can bring it back at the next meeting, whenever you choose.
Councillor Robinson has another question.
Councillor Robinson?
Just another question. How frequently, I know that it was Councillor Reiki Schoenfeld indicated updating. How frequently are we scheduling the review of the policy itself?
So we had said when I believe we passed it early in this year or mid-January, and this is the 6-month mark, so I think if we do it 6 months until we have, you know, I know that there's always, we had agreed that we were going to include whole new policies within it, so there will always be those to update. So I would say 6 months for the next few years would be fine.
Okay.
Councillor Schoenfeld.
Just as a procedure thing, so does that mean the new CAO clerk treasurer will be responsible for every 6 months reviewing it? Is that one of their jobs, or is that a deputy clerk job? Who's in charge?
I guess that will be up to the new CAO clerk treasurer to decide that. I would suggest this was kind of a collaborative, or you're going to go collecting information from their staff, and we did it over a period of time. So I think going out and getting the new policies is just based on what's happening in the municipality and what we think additional information we need in there. So we can continue to get that information from the county, and then it could be passed on to someone else. But I assume as it gets, you know, worn in and more our style, there will be less updates.
And so,
Okay.
oh, sorry.
No, because typically most policies are reviewed annually, not every 6 months, because having it on a 6-month schedule, I think is rather onerous.
It is, you're right. And I think that it was that in the beginning of the year that there was a lot of trepidation about it and we weren't really sure. So we thought we would continue to have the conversation, but if you think that we could go a year from now, that would be, you know, with the amount of change that's happening and the new staff coming on, a year from now would be a good recommendation.
I would recommend that.
Right.
When you did the new HR policy, did you look at the Employment Standards Act and stuff like that?
Throughout, yeah,
Yeah.
there are some situations where this township exceeds the Employee Standards Act, or somewhere it specifically refers to it.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
So the one other policy I think would be good to look at bringing and including in this, and because we just updated it at the county, is the one in regards to the vulnerable sector checks. The reason it's been changed is because there's been pushback from the RCMP on the number of vulnerable sector checks that are coming through. And their definition is unless you are specifically supervising or working with, whether it's children, whether it's the elderly. If you're just, because I was required to get one for the long-term care homes. And I couldn't get one because they said, well, you're not really engaged with them on a day-to-day basis. It's only if you're working with them on a regular basis that it's warranted. So again, it's something that they have to change it to county.
So then you just need a criminal background check.
Yes, yes. So that might be one.
Yeah, we can add that to the chapter.
Thank you. So is it council's wish to go ahead with the changes that have been identified tonight, or would you like this brought back to the next meeting?
Personally, I'd like it brought back, not necessarily next meeting, but within a little bit, just so then it's like, this is the, like, revision of the revision, and then, and plus two, then Councillor Robinson might be here, and it's nicer to have people in person.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Do we have to change our resolution, Laura?
I think we'll have to add,
Add a
well, it
sentence.
says edits, so how does edits?
Yeah, we're just accepting the edits.
Yeah.
But it should be brought back, I think, to council before it's shared with staff.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, and then present it again to council
Yes.
before it's,
Just brought back to council for review
For final approval.
and final approval, yeah.
Oh, Doug, you're wrong. There was more than one shower happening.
Would make a point to close my windows.
Oh, those poor chickens are gonna be turning into ducks.
should be.
Okay, is council okay with the
Council accepts.
resolution?
That's proposed.
Council accepts the edits proposed by the Human Resource Policy Manual and brought back to council for review. Okay, so I'll call the vote then. Councillor Burke? Yes. Councillor Buckle?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes,
Councillor Ricky Schonfeld?
Yes,
And I'm a yes, that's very, thank you. Laura, I just stroked out that last sentence. On the thing. Item 9.12 is the Ottawa Valley Tourist Association photo shoot. I have a motion that council accepts this report and directs staff to participate in the township photo shoot and pay the $250 from the administration advertising budgets. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments, questions? Councillor Ricky Schonfeld?
so can we tell them what are highlights in North Algona to maybe take pictures of, or are they going to do it on their own? And then also, what do they send us the pictures they take of our municipality, right? But does the Ottawa Valley Tourist Association do anything with that?
Well, yeah, they share them on some of their posts.
On some of their-
about
Okay,
County as a whole,
okay,
and I think
We actually, yeah, Cameron actually provided a highlight reel of the things that we would like, that they would be interested in taking photos of.
okay.
any other questions? Comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burke? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
yes,
Councillor Ricky Schonfeld?
Yes,
I mean, yes. Carrie, thank you. Item 9.13 is the CMHC update report, and I have motion council accepts the CMHC update report is presented, and then council authorizes resubmitting to the fund. Moved by Councilor Buckhold, seconded by Councilor Rector. Comments or questions? Councilor Rector.
So was was the fee for the consultant built into the, yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks, that's what I wanted to know. Uh-oh, is this a call in or an on-call or?
You think it's big or
If there's a trick. Okay, so that's the only question I have. No.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none. Councilor Burke? Yes. Councilor Buckhold?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Rector.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Item 10.1 is the special projects coordinator update. I have a motion of council accepts the special projects and CEMC update August 2024 report as information. Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Birch. Comments or questions? Councilor Rector.
Thanks, Cameron, for getting involved in all those different aspects that are making our township more culturally aware and sensitive, I think. I mean, it was great to see the swim program back again, for sure, you know,
That was a big one.
and all the stuff going on at Golden Lake is great too. Thanks.
Any other comments? I would agree. Having a swim program back is fantastic, and based on the success this year, if we can get more of those young students qualified, then maybe we can take on. Because I think AB, Sadness and Brumley would be interested in being part of it as well.
They did actually. I think I mentioned a couple.
And I know a parent whose student didn't pass, right? But they were still happy to have it, and like they said to their daughter, you gotta put your face all the way in, that's what you gotta do, like. So there was still value in the fact that they didn't get it, but it was nice for those people that did get their badge or their certification, right? Because the other person there was just gonna be swim for fun. And so the kids that didn't get it, they still swam and they learned things, and I think that's important, you know, and maybe they'll be challenged the next time or prepared for level 1 next year.
Well, and as you had said to me, some of them was just getting over the fear of even being in the water, so that's a good step if they can get past that.
No. Yeah, I don't think any parent was upset because they were there, they noticed. They couldn't do it, right? That was good.
Okay, so I'll call the vote. Councilor Burke? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Rector.
Yes.
And yes. It's very good. Item 10.2 is the chief building official update. And I have a motion that council accepts the chief building official report as information. Moved by Councilor Buckhold, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Are you good with that, Councilor Robinson?
Yeah, she's been having it up all night.
Oh, okay.
Finally noticed.
I see you.
Comments or questions? Councilor Reddy-Shantal.
What staff is helping to key in the information? And when we get that new program, that's just gonna make the inputting of the information easier or just more?
Yeah, so you'll recall that we purchased a software last year, and so Dawn and Jill have been working together to make it custom for our permitting and get all of the information in. Dawn's currently doing a bunch of keying, one for MPAC, one, I can't remember all the places she's spending things, but with this program, she's going to be able to do away with 3 Excel spreadsheets, so she's really excited to get that going and be able update to impact and others, so. So yeah, John and Jill have been working on that and we're hoping that it will be, fully functional January 1st, so that all 25 will be there.
Perfect.
Any other questions or comments? Do we have, I know it lists a number of permits that have been issued. Is there a summary on where we stand as far as the permit fees and where things stand in that area?
I don't have that, but I will look it up and make sure it's included.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld,
Yes.
Councillor Burt. Yes. Thank you, and I'm a yes, that is carried. Thank you. Item 10.3 is the bylaw enforcement update, and I am motion that council accepts the bylaw report as information. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld. Questions or comments? Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld.
Just the third bullet from the bottom. I don't know if you go to Biederman's Park or even Melissa Bishop Park. So it is confusing. So a person from Biederman sent it to me where it says North Algona Wilberforce, the big sign. And it goes on to say, no pets. And then beside it is if your dog poops, you should scoop. So I think that's what people like, because there was an incident down at Biederman's Park and the one person said you shouldn't have your dogs. And they said, we're very law abiding. We didn't. So they're like, I don't know, am I in trouble now? Because, but they said we're confused because there is the pooper scooper. So maybe they could take one down or.
I took the one down.
Okay, there's one at. Because I
The
know,
other sign says, no, that's allowed. No dogs allowed.
yeah. So I mean, the same thing's going on at Biederman's Park, but I know people who do go down with their dogs, so it's maybe just something. It was the inconsistency and people are trying to follow a rule and they're like, I don't know what's going on.
I thought you were gonna say there were cows in Biederman. Yeah.
Well, they'd be allowed, because it says, they're not a pet, they're an animal.
I'm not scooping after them.
Yeah,
Any other comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burt. Yes. Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld.
yes,
Councillor Robinson.
yes,
I'm a yes. It's carried. Thank you. Item 10.4 is the fire department update. I have a motion that council accept this fire department update as information. Over to seconder.
Councillor Robinson.
Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burt. Questions or comments? Councillor Burt.
Is there a number of vehicles that have to go to an accident scene? Is it a number or?
Normally we'll always send a pumper. And a rescue vehicle, and depending on if there's entrapment. We send a rescue vehicle from the opposite station as well. Just for manpower and equipment.
I just heard that there was a lot of vehicles went to the one at Black Point Road, that accident.
That could be, I wasn't there for that, it's a way.
I just heard there's like a lot of fire trucks went. I never seen her, nothing, I just heard that.
You're speaking of the rollover at Black Point at Highway 60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I never seen a vehicle.
At Black Point, there was the Deacon pumper, the Golden Lake pumper, the Golden Lake Rescue, and the tanker.
Yeah. So,
With the location, because it was on a curve. And not knowing that the police will be there for lighting, yeah, we took extra vehicles so that we could have warnings there on the road.
No, I know it's in a bad spot, but.
Yeah,
and the other thing you gotta consider is Ministry of Transport payout.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So any vehicle, thinking up to reasonable limit, they'll pay us for it.
So they pay you for all the vehicles every day, guys?
And just, so I'm just looking all down so far, we've got received 5794 back from the ministry so far, and there's still 2 incidents we submitted.
Thank you. Well, I was pleased to see the one carbon monoxide individual who had it unplugged but survived. I was glad to see that we didn't have a fatality there.
And it was a ghost thing. So, as I told all of my firefighters, I'll tell you folks, talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, make sure they know what carbon monoxide is like, how it works. But it's not heavier than air, it's not lighter than air, and it doesn't have a smell. It's- Word of mouth goes a long way, because it was a very close thing to that resident.
Yeah, because you had it unplugged.
Yes. And the fridge that they had installed was not functioning properly.
Did they unplug it because it was beeping?
That I do not have that information. That particular resident actually went over, installed the fridge outside in the breezeway, make sure that it was working fine, and then went over several times to flip it. And didn't smell anything, so figured everything was good, so he installed it inside the house. So it's just not knowing
Right.
what you're looking for.
Right. Yeah, that's why we need the detectives.
Mhm.
Seeing no other comments, Councillor Burt,
Yes,
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Reggie Schonfeld,
Yes,
and a yes. Harry, thank you. Item 10.5 is the finance update. And I have a motion that council accepts the treasurer's update report as information. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Burton. Questions, comments? Councillor Reggie
do
Schonfeld.
you know if Impact has evaluated the houses along Point Church Road that are trailers that are permanently, so they stuck there, you know? Or how do we make that happen? Like some of them, in some municipalities, you have to pull your trailer at a certain time, right? Other municipalities, if you got a deck in front of it and a roof over it, it's like a permanent structure, right? And then Impact's called. I'm just wondering, like, do we call Impact? And does Impact investigate when they're looking at something else?
So impact is triggered by building permits generally, so if those decks got building permits, that would trigger impact, but.
If they don't get, if there's no trigger, they're not checking.
If there's no trigger, then I think as a municipality, we can notify Impact and then they'll investigate it, correct? Or am I wrong?
I have done that in the past. I don't know what the answer is post-COVID. There's really not been, really what I'm happy is doing right now is not consistent because I haven't done a complete update, but we can check in with that. Sure.
Thank you.
Councilor Burton.
I had a resident come and ask me. He lived on Church Point Drive and he bought the land across the road from his house. And he said his taxes double. Is that possible? Because now he has waterfront.
We would have to look at the specific property. There could be other things. There could have been a house go up. There could have been other things that happen. I don't think buying his shoreline would do that, but I would have to know. I know that there's been situations in the township where people's property classification has changed, so that would increase his taxes significantly, but you should, I don't know, we could give us a call and let us know.
Well, I go and go talk to staff at the township office and I know we get him that.
I mean, the thing is, usually when it's an increase in value, we don't have any control over it. We just get that as a download from Impact. So if people can go on to the Impact, there's my property through Impact where you can go on the portal and see why the property value has increased and what the classifications are. So that's generally what we tell people when they call here is just give Impact a call and talk. See.
Laura.
Maria,
Oh, Maria. Go ahead, Maria.
I know when we acquired the shoreline, one of the things that was done was they came and they were looking as the clerk indicated, they reassessed the property not based on what was already there, but with everything that all the changes that you may have made, and include that with the shoreline evaluation, because that's what they did to us. So yeah, because ours went up about $1,200 because of that.
Well, and I was led to believe what they do is now you just have one pin. You may have had like this and that, but now you have just one pin. And as soon as that goes, you're not water view, you're waterfront, even though there's a road in between. And because you're water view, it's a higher classification.
That's what I told them too.
So I'll just clarify that. So there's no classification that is waterfront or water view. Your property value is higher because you are waterfront or water view. So there's nothing in MPAC's role that differentiates between those two things. It's just humans,
Value of water.
yeah, like water better, so that therefore the value is more, but there's nothing that on your property that indicates that it's waterfront.
And I did have conversations with MPAC, not this year, but 2 years ago already, because I was getting questions from people who didn't purchase their shoreline road allowance, and their taxes still went up. And MPAC said, well, the reason is because those properties have been undervalued for a number of years. So even if you don't purchase your shoreline, you're still getting classified the same as those that have. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burt?
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Richter-Johnfeld?
Yes.
Yes. Very, thank you. Public Works update, and I have a motion that council accepts this report, Public Works Department as information. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Burt. Comments or questions? Councillor Richter-Johnfeld?
Is there somewhere on the website that we can know what the different roads classifications are?
I don't believe so. I'm still working on bringing the level of service. We do an old level of service.
Right.
But from my review, there were some roads missing and some roads that weren't ours. And I have to bring it to council for approval, but it's more than just a classification of roads. It's our level of service for everything, right? So
Right, okay.
there isn't right at the moment, but it will definitely be there at one point.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to thank you and your staff for the recycled pavement in the areas where you applied it. It's made a huge improvement.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit about the new machine and easier to work with material and the process of doing the patching is a little bit different, so. Yeah, it's worked well. Now we are at the treasury report, we are at max budget right now, but we can't stop patching. We still have to.
Very nice.
We will be going over that budget for sure.
Have they given it as, Greenwood Paving given an indication when they're gonna be doing those roads?
They said after the long weekends.
Okay.
The date was September 20th. Then that's final, so we're cutting it close.
Right.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burt?
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Richter-Johnfeld?
Yes.
And a yes. That's carried. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay, thank you. So item 11.1.
Hey, sorry.
Non-action items. And I have a motion that council accepts correspondence items 11.1.1 to 11.1.7 as information. Moved by Councillor Buckle, seconded by Councillor Ray Schoenfeld. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burt,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Ray Schoenfeld.
Yes,
I mean, yes, I apologize, I should have said this sooner, but I just wanted to make one comment. The County of Renfrew Growing Together Forum. The itinerary and the registration is now open. I just got the email from the county today, so anybody who's interested in going, I will be forwarding that to staff here so that that information is available. And that was, I'm a yes as well, so that's carried. Action items, the Antique Car Club of Pembroke, I have a motion that council agrees to provide free use of weather permits of the Lake Dory Ball Diamond to the Antique Car Club of Pembroke for a maximum of 3 hours on September the 15th, 2024. Providing the club completes a rental agreement stating that any repairs for damages caused to the ball field and surrounding track are the responsibility of the club. And that such repairs must meet the approval of the Public Works Superintendent. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Birch. Comments or questions? Councillor Reddy-Schultz.
can we just make sure there's garbage, maybe Public Works to make sure they put out maybe more garbage receptacles? And, just because,
That's just a direction to staff. Thanks a lot. I'll call the vote. Councillor Burt,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reddy-Schultz.
yes,
I'm a yes, that's carried, thank you. Oh, and here it is, item 11.2.2 is the County of Brentford Growing Together Forum, and I have a motion that council supports the Municipal Agriculture, Economic Development and Planning Forum at the bronze level of $250 from council donations. Moved by Councillor Buckland, seconded by Councillor Burt. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burt.
Yes.
Councillor Buckland,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reddy-Schultz.
yes,
I'm a yes, that is carried, thank you. Item 11.2.3 is the County of Renfrew Corporate Services Department, and I have a motion that North Algona Wilberforce participates with the county in implementing automated speed enforcement on local roads that are not within the community safety, and school safety zones where applicable, and that a copy of this resolution will be forwarded to the County Operations Committee. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Reddy-Schultz. Comments or questions? Councillor Reddy-Schultz.
so if we participate, it's not costing us anything, but if a person speeds on one of our roads, that fine, the county collects?
The county collects, yes. This is still, what this is asking is that the automated speed enforcement can be expanded beyond just community safety and school safety zones. Right now, that's the only place you can install it.
Oh, okay,
But the county is asking, because I did include in the package, the provincial offenses court charges. The average number of charges prior to this year used to be anywhere from between 600 and 700. Last month, they were like 450. And one of the other months, they were low as well. So we've been hammering away at this at the county because the POA, the Provincial Offenses Court, used to pay for their whole admin department from the fines. And now they're in a deficit because the number of charges have dropped.
Oh,
And the other concern is our basic policing costs aren't going down. The number of charges are. And as we've said at the county, I don't think that people are driving that much more safe, resulting in less charges. I think there's just less enforcement, or that they're spending more time dealing with, you know, drugs and addictions and those sorts of emergencies. And they haven't had the time to do the traffic enforcement.
but something like that on County Road 30 that everybody complains about would be a great place. maybe.
Well, absolutely,
Because,
yeah.
I mean,
Especially going into Golden Lake. I had a resident call me from there and Doug would know himself. The people coming to Golden Lake are still going 100 kilometers from the church.
Going past my brother's place, which is 2 doors down from me, somebody passed somebody who was already speeding, going down Lake Dory Road.
Yeah.
Is there anything the county can do there to slow people down or?
Well, I don't know if that qualifies, maybe you would know if that qualifies as a community safety zone. I can ask that question too, we have a meeting there tomorrow, so.
Yeah,
Because people are really concerned that the speed that they're coming to Golden Lake.
yeah, it is difficult. I tried in Whitney and it's so bad there because you come down that hill into that gully and we tried to get the OPP to sit, we tried to put, you know, markers out, all of those things. It's difficult in small towns on highways for sure. I was coming through Deacon today and because I live in a small town, I'm the person who slows down and does exactly the speed limit. And there were 2 people on my back that were angry because I was, you know, driving 70 through Deacon. So I think it's just, you know, as Mayor Rose says, the OPP are busy doing other things and people know that.
And that Lake Dory Road is just unreal how busy it is.
And the other big change, and maybe you're already aware of it, but the staff sergeant or commanding sergeant at Killaloo has retired, and so now it's being amalgamated with the Upper Ottawa Valley OPP, so. They claim we might get more efficient or effective service, I guess time will tell.
And we're supposed to get a new police station in Killaloo too.
Killaloo or somewhere in the area, yeah. And I've heard that, I think they would like it maybe in Barry's Bay because that gets them closer to Whitney and. But that's still up in the air as to where it will be.
Oh.
So, but that's what this one is all about, is expanding the reach of the automated speed enforcement beyond just community safety zones.
I'm not a big fan of speed cameras, but in this day and age, again, when you have issues like we have on there, you can't dedicate an officer to that enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
and they will slow down where the camera is and probably speed up, but at least they're slowing down for a period of time.
Hey, I'll call the vote. Councillor Burke.
Yes.
Councillor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councillor Robinson.
No.
Okay, Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld.
Yes,
Yes, it's very good. And now we're at bylaws. And therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaws. Bylaw 2024-40, Shoreline Road Closure, Todd Martin. Bylaw 2024-41, Authorize Agreement, Todd Martin. Bylaw 2024-41, Schedule A. Bylaw 2024-42, Shoreline Road Closure, Martin, J and H. Bylaw 2024-43, Authorize Agreement, Martin, J and H. Bylaw 2024-43, Schedule A. And bylaw 2024-44, Execution of Agreement. Moved by Councillor Buckwell, seconded by Councillor Rankin Schoenfeld. Oh, sorry, I missed Councillor Robinson. Questions, comments? Councillor Rankin
was
Schoenfeld.
all of this because it wasn't done properly to begin with? like some of the different bylaws were rescinded and stuff like that? Is this just a way of cleaning it up?
The shorelines?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my understanding, yeah, that some of them went to land registry and were rejected, and then some of them are just, that we've been working with the lawyer to try to clean them up, because we know that people are waiting on that.
Okay.
I'll call the vote. Council Burns,
Yes,
Council Buckland,
Yes.
Council Robinson,
Yes,
Council Reddish Schoenfeld.
Yes,
I mean, yes. Carried. Okay. Are there any matters of urgency? Any notices of motion? We've been through reports from committees, so then we're at upcoming meetings and unfinished business. So we will have a committee of adjustment September 9th, 2024 at 6:30 PM. We'll have another committee of adjustment September 9th, 2024 at 6:45 PM. We will have a recreation committee September 9th, 2024 at 7 PM. And the next regular council meeting will be September 17th, 2024 at 7 PM. And under unfinished business, we have the fire station tree removal. And I have a motion that council directs Public Works to remove the diseased tree at the Golden Lake Fire Station when feasible to do so. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burnt,
yes,
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Richard Schoenfeld.
yes,
I'm a yes. That's carried, thank you. Item 16.6 is the signage at Golden Lake Community Center Complex. And I have a motion that the wooden signboard at the Golden Lake Community Center Complex be removed from service. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Buckland. Comments or questions? Councillor Schoenfeld.
I'm kind of sad to see it go, because, I mean, it was a way of communicating bits and pieces to the area, and the other thing too is sometimes it was nice just to get that greeting, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, all that other stuff. And it was just because the location was a good place to see. I don't think any other sign, we wouldn't be able to put it in when I read Adrian's report that it's gonna get that same amount of viewing, which is unfortunate.
Unless we put an electronic sign at the Public Works building in Golden Lake.
But I'm sure we'd have the same thing where it has to be so far from here and so far from there.
I think on the building, you'd be able to get away with it.
I don't know. It's not quite the same because you were stopping 4 ways sometimes,
Yeah.
slowing down or something 4 ways sometimes, you know? Sometimes I just think those nice little cheery messages are, make you think about something else.
But maybe if you're looking at a sign, you're causing an accident.
You know, look at the intersection.
yeah, that's a busy intersection.
Well, that's, I think, why we can't put a sign there. No. It's just because of them.
That's why I'm thinking if we were gonna put up a sign, because I don't think, and only people that know it's there don't even see the one on the fire hall.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, yeah.
it's a waste
Yeah.
of space.
wow.
Well, I'm sorry, I had something facetious to say. I'll hold off on it.
I mean, to me, it's nearly better to put that sign up at the waste transfer station. There's lots of people that go there, you know, I know it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but a lot of people go to that.
Mhm.
That transfer site, right? And you're advertising something, lots of people go there.
Yeah, and that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad spot for it.
Yeah,
Anyway, I agree. I never look at it as I pass by.
because you're one of those very careful and
No.
the actress drivers.
But don't you remember when it was COVID and Andrew put the sign up, be a moose length away from the next person and stuff like that? That stuff just made me laugh, you know?
Okay, I'll call the vote. Councillor Burns,
Yes,
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson, Councillor Robinson, anything?
Just
I'm
thinking.
there, this is a hard one, but yeah, okay.
Councillor Recklesham.
Yeah, I do kind of agree. It's just time to go because of the cost associated with keeping it up, unfortunately.
I know, but it's reality.
It is
But it's
real.
sad.
Exactly. Exactly.
And yes, so that's carried. Item 16.7 is the King's official portrait, and I have a motion that staff order an official portrait of King Charles III from the Monarch League to be displayed in the council chambers from the office supplies budget. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Ricky Chantal. Questions or comments?
So I'm thinking, because they're free, there's one at the Golden Lake Hall of the Queen. Like, don't you think in every place we should get one, and if they're free?
Are they free? The picture is free.
$25 shipping.
$25.
Yeah, but listen, what if we were to get like a bunch, then they can put them together, we should get a discount. No, like I was thinking one of the snow drifters, if that's what you want at the Golden Lake. I don't know. People go there, people do appreciate that.
Yeah, generally you put them in the place where your level of government is sitting.
Yeah, but they talk about other things.
Yeah, they could go in
4-H,
community centers
stuff like
too.
that, yeah, we talk about
I
that.
don't have a problem with that if we want to get one for each facility.
I've seen them in community centers.
Well, if we can get 3 for the price of 1 delivery fee.
Like, work your magic. Come on, Martha, if you want us to like, you know, go along with the king here. Maybe I'll just write Prince Charles or King Charles a letter, come on. Maybe we can get us some bathrooms.
We'll try to get one.
One for sure, but maybe more. It says community centers, youth
Yeah.
such as scouts, 4-H, fair centers, base centers. See, Golden Lake nearly has all this. Base center, 4-H. Girl guys. Okay, gotta move in the meeting along.
Okay, so Councillor, yes, Councillor Buckwald,
Yes,
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Ricky Chantal.
Yes,
I mean, yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 16.8 is the circular waste. I have a motion that council accepts this report and directs staff to sign the agreement. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments or questions? This is just part of our administration requirements moving forward. Ready, Adrian?
So the province has started in 2024, move forward with, producer responsible organization or PRO, which happens to be certain here in Ontario. And they won the award to look after that for the province. The first entity, of course, was City of Toronto. And then it went by, the smaller communities, so much people are trying to, transition date is March 28th. Hopefully it gets to that point. We opted in to keep our depots operating under ourselves, but opted out of the haulage for that. So I just received this as information was received that it's going to be Miller Group was awarded the haulage of our depots. It won't be Algona Wilberforce entities.
Okay.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
so the town should be saving money on going to pay the haulage now no more?
We won't be paying for the haulage, no. So that's the main thing. So right now, the province will be paying funding for our haul.
All of it or just for the
All
recyclables?
the hauling recycling, yeah. So we have waste that still has to be discussed,
Right.
so. We have a bin at each facility that is picked up. Once every 2 weeks or once every week here.
Right.
Do you know if Ottawa Valley would be doing that or Millers, or is it up to
We'll have to
negotiation?
go on to an agreement. Because Algona Valley Waste Recovery is now being taken over for the Blue Box program within Terra.
Yes,
So now you have an entity, two different entities.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
more information to come.
well, I don't really care where the other group takes it, it's just, it's out of our hands. now.
Right.
We kind of let pay for that.
Right.
So. All I know is they've been awarded to collect it for all of Redford County, I believe.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes,
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Reggie Shonko.
Yes,
Yes, that's carried, thank you. And finally, 16.9 is a speed limit traffic study. I have motion the council receives the speed limit traffic study completed by EXP Services Inc. And the council directs staff to use this report to address speed limit concerns on a case by case basis. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Burke. Questions or comments? Councillor Shonto.
something like Point Church Road, some residents have come to talk to me about the fact that they just fear that once the road gets paved, that people are gonna even go faster. So even though, let's say the study says Point Church Road is good, it's, I don't know, I tried to find it, but I couldn't. Could we then, or could the Public Works say, no, we think a suitable road would be 60? Is that possible, I think?
So what my recommendation is to use the study. To go back on and use, because EXP used the Transportation of Canada platform. To assess all of the roads, that is used by the MTO, it's used by counties, it's used by most road authorities. So I would suggest that we use what the information in the report.
Right, because I'm just thinking when they did that study, Point Church Road wasn't really in good shape, but now it's gonna be in excellent shape, so they might have changed
So
their.
we can look at what,
It's already posted at 60,
yeah.
but you're right. Once the road is fixed, people are gonna drive faster.
So Point Church Road is number 69. And they're saying suggested speed. 70 kilometers an hour based on roadside conditions, common use facing Lake Dory, residential areas, bike trail, and existing posted speed limit. It should be reduced to 60 kilometers an hour to be consistent with other similar areas. The suggested speed is 70, but they suggest 60.
And is it not posted 60 now?
I'm not sure, I didn't take a look at that, but so that's from Highway 41 to Smith Bay Road, and then from Smith Bay Road to Highway 41, so the opposite section, we're saying to post it at 70, it's suggested at 70. It could be reduced to 60 kilometers an hour to be consistent with other similar roads, so if you're going to post it at one speed, I think one speed should be.
Yeah. Councillor Robinson.
It should be consistent.
Councillor Robinson, you had a comment?
most of Highway 60 is, sorry, most of Point Church is 60.
Yes.
The only section that was of issue was the section that crossover from Lead Cemetery.
Yeah.
Is that,
From Smith
that
Bay to Lead Cemetery. And I agree, it should be consistent, we should just do it all at 60.
Yeah, so if you look at the report, the 80th percentile is where the TAC parameters sit. So if 85% of the people are doing speed limit, there is suggestion you do not change any speed limit whatsoever. So any unposted road, okay, has a statutory speed limit of 50 kilometers an hour in built up areas and 80 kilometers if it's not built up areas. So that is part of the act itself. Councils and municipalities are given the right through the act, through the Highway Traffic Act to change the limits that they will, but they would have to be bylaw in. So if you For example, Traymore Road seems to be the big one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's. Basically, it is the statutory road speed limits that is, they're suggesting me for us to post. In the areas, but. So that would be one that we could do, and then we would have to metal file the state that we are posting. Trammell Road, the only part of Trammell Road I just like. Was that they wanted to post it at 70 coming in from the highway. Until you got to Kilby Road. But the first section of Trammell Road is statutory 50 right now. Because it's built up area all the way until you get to Old Ridge Road. And so I would probably post it only at 70 at Old Ridge Road until you get to Kilby, and then Kilby on it be 50 kilometers because it's built up their area right there.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I'm just wondering, can we move ahead with Traymore? Because that's where we've, at least that's where I've heard the most complaints from.
The signs are ordered and poster and
Oh,
I
okay.
can read mine. There are, I bought, they're already purchased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So the next meeting on September 17th, I believe,
yes,
I would present a report on Traymore Road and have that bylaw there.
that's great. Any other comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burks,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Renke Schoenfeld.
Yes,
I mean, yes. That's carried, thank you.
we missed a couple things, like Adrian's report about that electronic sign, and then about the letters. We missed that one.
You're right.
And we,
I think that was
Same one.
was it all part of
There's
this one?
only one resolution.
Yeah.
She-
Okay.
she did find out.
Okay,
Okay, thank you for clarification. Okay, so at this point then, we have a closed session, council, will go into closed. The section 239 2D, E and H of the Municipal Act, 3 labor relations or employee negotiations, 1 litigation or potential litigation, and 1 information supplied in confidence by another level of government. Moved by Councillor Buckwald, seconded by Councillor Burns. That we go into close at 9:31 p.m.
goodbye, Riches. I hope you don't get wet.
Well, I'm not now.
Call the vote, Councillor Burns.
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald.
Yes.
Councillor Robinson. Councillor Robinson.
sorry. Yes, I
Councillor
was
Renke.
on mute.
Yes.
And I'm a yes, that's carried, thank you. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Renke Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Burge. And the resolution would be that we extend our council meeting, extend to
Did you find it?
11:40.
Okay,
Yeah.
say 11:40.
Extend council meeting to 11:40. Councillor Burge,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Past my bedtime. Yes,
Councillor Renke Schoenfeld. I mean, yes, that's
An
carried.
hour past my bedtime.
And I'm not feeling so good.
And then we need another resolution to go back into closed.
This is making me nauseous. Feel like the revolving door.
Moved, seconded, moved by Councillor Renke Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Buckwald.
I don't exist.
Yeah, we need to get Maria in there, because it'll look like she wasn't
Council
around.
back into closed.
11:04. Do you need to know the time?
No, that's, yeah, I do.
11:04. Yeah.
Okay, so we're back to
Yes.
closed.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, yes, Councillor Burke,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Schoenfeld.
Yes,
Okay.
Maria
yes.
thought I've got a time delay.
That's carried. Okay, we're back and closed. So I have a resolution 18.1 that council directs staff to join Whitewater Region and Boncher Valley Township in signing the agreement for the pilot project, and that approximately 50,000 be budgeted in the 2024-2025 and 2026 budgets. But I thought we said, no, that's not right. We said if we did it all in 24-25,
That's
we
right.
didn't need to do it in 26.
That's right. We were gonna do it
That's
all,
right.
Yeah,
the budgeting
just,
24.
we just can't discuss any of those details right now.
Yeah, but we were, that's what we're gonna do. I think budgeted is spelled wrong.
I think we should just, a friendly amendment to the resolution is take off the end 2026 budget.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stroke it in.
It's going to be 2025-2026 because the 24-25 budget is.
It's already done.
Oh, you're right. So I stroked it on. Yeah, that's just a friendly amendment. Moved by? Moved by Councilor Burt, seconded by Councilor Buckhold. Councilor Burt?
Yes.
Councilor Buckhold?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Schoenfeld?
No,
Yes, so that's carried. Eighteen point two is motion that council directs county HR staff to proceed as directed in closed. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burt?
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Schoenfeld?
yes,
And a yes, that's carried. Carried. A confirmatory bylaw, that bylaw 2024 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for August the 27th, 2024. Read first and second time this 27th day of August, 2024. Moved by Councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Burt. Councilor Burt?
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Schoenfeld?
yes,
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. And finally, I have a resolution that this August 27th, 2024 regular meeting
11:37.
of council adjourns at 11:37. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Schoenfeld. Councilor Burt?
Yes.
Councilor Buckle?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Schoenfeld?
Yes.
And a yes, and we have 3 minutes to spare. That's
Okay.
carried.
Wow.